In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 3 tips to use Microsoft Copilot for marketing. Now, working in marketing myself, I use Microsoft Copilot for a number of different ways to streamline my day. I'm going to be showing you across the board some different examples, including analysis of data inside of Excel, creating pitch decks in PowerPoint, creating images, and so much more using Microsoft Copilot. So stick around as you will learn how to optimize your day and save time on your marketing tasks. So first off, I'm going to start with the analysis of data. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm no whiz when it comes to Microsoft Excel. And actually, when it comes to getting data together and analyzing it for marketing purposes, I can fall short of being able to get the information I need to make the right decisions. So this is where Copilot can step in and really help dive into the data and get insight without having to know loads of advanced formulas and functions and pivot tables and all the other things that often people need to know about Excel. So to start off, I'm going to click on the Copilot button across the top right hand corner of Excel. Now you can see I've got my sample file here of a bunch of different data. Now it's not sorted in any particular way. And actually this is a sample file that I've used from a Microsoft website, which is essentially simulating the sales of push bikes, mountain bikes, road bikes, things like that from a fake company. So the first thing I want to do is get a better view of this data. So what I'm going to start off with is asking Copilot to order the table by the quantity sold in column M and put it in decreasing order. So in column M, the quantity sold. So I'm going to click enter. And what this is then going to do is it's going to come back and ask me, is this what I meant? Apply a custom sort on the column at index 12 in table 3. So basically it's summarized what I wanted to do and it's got the range of the table for me automatically. All I need to do is click on apply and then watch now what will happen. It automatically will apply that sort for me. So now I can see across the top, from the very top, the amount of different types of bikes that have been sold. I could take this one step further and I could ask it to provide this information to me in a clear bar chart. So here we go. I've typed in my prompt, represent the year-to-date quantity sold column M with a category in column C in a bar chart that order is decreasing. So what it's going to do is create me a bar chart using the amount that's been sold as well as the category of the types of bike, whether it's a mountain bike, cargo bike, a road bike, and then I've asked it to provide it in a decreasing order as well, so I can see what the most commonly sold bike would be. So again, I'm going to click on enter, and it's always going to provide you a little bit of a snippet of what it's planning on doing and ask you what you want to do with it before it then takes any next steps. So you can see here, it's created the bar chart, it's analyzed the data, and here's what it's found. Now, if I'm happy with this bar chart, all I need to do is click on add to new sheet. And what that'll do is it'll create a brand new sheet and I can then see my table. And you can see here now that mountain bikes are clearly head and shoulders above the rest in terms of what they're selling. Next in line is cargo and then touring bikes after that. So that's a really simple way, as I say, without needing to know a lot about Excel, that I could quickly determine that actually mountain bikes is what we're selling the most of at the moment. Now I could also ask for some other things to analyze the data a bit further to see if I could spot any patterns or see if Copilot can actually provide me with some patterns of this data as well. So the final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to create me a scatter plot chart that shows the relationship between the current price in column D and the year-to-date quantity sold. So I can see if there's any patterns in terms of how many has been sold in comparison to the price at which we're selling it at. So there you go. It's created me now a little bit of analysis here. Again, I can choose to add that to the sheet to actually see this in a bit more detail if I wanted to. So you can see here I can start drawing out a bit of analysis from this data in terms of I can see there's a lot more sales in the lower value area, and I can start looking at some of these clusters to see actually maybe just underneath the $2,000 mark is a good sweet spot for us to concentrate on, or maybe even this area here we can see a lot of sales actually when it's about maybe $1,500, something like that. So these start giving me ideas that I could use to optimize some of the marketing campaigns that I'm currently putting out. So let's maybe think about how we could use some of that information to update some of the pitch decks that our sales team are using to potentially sell this information to potential customers to increase the likelihood that they'll actually purchase these mountain bikes. Now, as part of a new campaign in which this bike company is releasing a new pedal assist system for their e-bikes, they've drafted up a bit of a product specification document already with the core information about this new feature which they're rolling out to their e-bikes. And we can also incorporate some of the knowledge that we've learned from the analysis of the data, our sales data, into our documents as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take all of this information and I'm going to create a brand new pitch deck that our sales team are going to use to sell these e-bikes into specific bike shops. So this is something that traditionally could take a long time for a marketing team to have to go and create sales materials like PowerPoint decks, pitch decks, or things which other departments are using. Now with Copilot, this really streamlines the process. So if I've already got the information, say in a product specification document, and I just need to create a nice visual pitch deck to give that information to our sales team, all I need to do is click on Copilot inside of a brand new fresh PowerPoint deck. And you can see I've got three options here. I can create a presentation about. Now this allows me to give it a topic that it will go away and use the internet essentially to get information together to bring this back in. So if this was something very generic, or I was looking at starting a new project, I just wanted to get information maybe on, say for example, the top 10 mountain bikes or something like that, it could go and create me that PowerPoint deck for me. But because I'm trying to create a pitch deck from information I already have, I'm going to click on this create presentation from file. Now this is going to find all the recent files I've recently been working on, but here is that new pedal assist document that we were looking at before. So I'm going to say create presentation from file and select, and what this is going to do now is it's going to create me my pitch deck by analyzing that document. And before it creates it, what it's going to do is start drafting out all the different slides that it thinks it's going to create. So you can see here we've got introduction, features, benefits, requirements, all the different things that a typical kind of pitch deck would likely contain. And it's now creating me all of those slides for me. Now, what I tend to find with Copilot inside of PowerPoint is that it'll often create more than what you need, and then you can go and choose to retrospectively update it afterwards, remove things you don't want, for example. So I'm going to see here it's got it's all using very plain kind of styling at the moment, and we can choose to incorporate the designer features of PowerPoint to give it something a little bit more. So it knows, for example, that this is all about bikes. So you can see here. That's actually a bit of a granular kind of picture, but you can see it's trying its best to come up with some themes and designs and things like that, which is going to be used in this PowerPoint deck. I can then go through and have a look at what it's created. So it's got a bit of an agenda slide, so it's going to show what's actually in this deck, which we'd probably want to keep. A bit of an overview, probably want to keep. Document information, so we probably wouldn't necessarily need this if it's part of a kind of pitch deck. We can choose to remove that. We can see that it's got some information about the electric motor. Also, it's going to draft us some notes as well. So if we open up the notes section, you can see that it's created us some notes from our product spec as well. Some information about the sensors, the display controls, things like that. Now, this is all using sort of images as well, that it's found stock images that relates to those particular pieces. We can use Copilot as well to help us with some other things. So if I was to click on the view prompts area of Copilot and then click on view prompts here, we can see there's a whole host of different things we can do inside of PowerPoint. Create presentations, adding slides, extracting information. I'm not going to go through all these, but in your own time, maybe go through and have a look at what all the different things you can do inside of PowerPoint. They're also broken out into key areas, so like creation, understanding, editing, and ask. So under ask, you can see it can give you things like give me specific examples from this presentation on how I can improve it. So you could ask it for specific examples about how you could improve this pitch deck further. So this is almost like a colleague reviewing this set of slides and then providing you information. So for example, it's an introduction slide, so maybe we need to do a little bit more about explaining who the company is and what we do. Electric motor slide, so emphasize the importance of electric motors in providing additional power to the wheels. So you can see here it's provided loads of information here of how we could update the slides, and this is basically not just saving us time, but it's saving us our colleagues time who might need to review this pitch deck before we would then mark it complete and provide it to our sales team. Under some of the other areas of the prompts, under edit, you might choose to organize this presentation. So if you wanted to, at the moment you can see there's no sections to this. There's no kind of order. Now we can ask it to organize this presentation, and it might choose to reorder it slightly and then group under certain categories. So you can see here it's now added a couple of additional slides that it thinks is relevant based on what we were suggesting previously before, but it's also grouped it under some of the key category areas like overview and components, smart features and benefits, and things like that. So if we were to go to, say, smart and adaptive, we might also choose to use the edit functions to do things like adding an image. So we could choose to add an image of, and then we could say someone riding a push bike in the city. So we can then ask it to add an image. In this case, we're asking it someone riding a push bike in the city, and then add that to our slide deck. So there you go. That's automatically then added a picture of somebody in the city riding a push bike into the smart and adaptive slide. So that slide was missing an image, and now we've got it to add an image automatically for us. Now, of course, this deck would then need to be updated. So if you do have like your own brand guidelines and colors, you could go to designs and just add on top of it whatever color package it is that you are using. So I'll just select this one, and you can see that it's updated it all to the red, black and gray theming. But of course, if you have your own company colors, you can choose to apply them over the top of that PowerPoint deck. As you can see, this is really simple, quick. It saved us loads of time to go and create the pitch deck from that information that we have in our spec sheet. If you're enjoying this video, I'd like to ask a quick favor. Please do subscribe to our channel, like the video, and also if you've got any questions at all, use a comment feed below. Go and check out the rest of the videos on our channel, as we have loads of different videos about all sorts of Microsoft products such as Power Apps, SharePoint, Teams, Copilot, and so much more. We also offer professional services to help your organization with Microsoft and products such as Copilot to ensure you get a successful adoption. Now, if you want to contact us, there's a link in the bio on our YouTube page. That'll take you to a contact form. Fill that out, and you can have a free 1-hour consultation with one of our specialists to talk about how we can help you ensure you have a successful project. Then the final element of how Copilot could potentially help you with your marketing activity is the ability for it to generate creative. Now, what I mean by this is bespoke imagery. Now, Microsoft do have loads of stock images that you can use in Word and PowerPoint and things like that. However, there might be times where you want to create something very specific as an image, and you want to use AI to generate that image for you. Now, you can use Copilot to generate those images. So let's say, for example, it might be that I want to create some images for this new campaign that we're launching, and part of it is about the sort of ecological benefits and environmental impact that, say, a cycle to work scheme could potentially have, rather than having loads of cars and buses and things like that causing traffic jams and pollution. So what we can do is we could ask Copilot to create an image of a man riding a mountain bike up a mountain path away from a polluted city with traffic jams causing pollution clouds. So this is very specific now that we're asking it to create something very specific as a set of images here. And what it will do is it will use Designer, which is the product of Microsoft inside of Copilot, to create 4 images of what we think, what Copilot thinks it's going to create. So there we go. So we've got a couple of images now already created, and I think it's just finishing off on maybe a 4th one, or maybe it's given up on the 4th one. But you can see there are 3 really good images which could visualize very quickly the sort of difference. So I would probably go with this image to sort of show a guy with a mountain bike on a mountain. He's away from all the traffic jams and pollution that's being caused by sort of cars and vehicles. So you can see here it's really good at creating those creative materials that we need for our marketing campaigns. I hope you found that video useful. If you did, you can contact us for professional services and help deploying Microsoft Copilot to your organization. There's a link in the video description below, and there's also a link inside of the bio on our YouTube channel. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, do like and subscribe to our channel for future content. And also, if you've got any questions at all, please use the comments feed below. Also, keep an eye out for more content relating to Copilot and all Microsoft 365 products. Thank you.